So this review's about a week later than I wanted it to be, but better late than never. Anyone who knows me knows I was really looking forward to this game. I love Sonic Mania to death, okay, great game, totally get it, but Sonic Generations was my jam. When I heard they were making another one, you better believe a pre-order happened. So did they do it? Did Sonic Forces live up to the Sonic Generations 2 hype? Let's just get into it. So let's be positive. The graphics are absolutely amazing. 100% the best looking graphics that we've seen in a Sonic game so far. And don't come at me with Mania, okay? I get that Mania fit the aesthetic a bit better, but technically speaking, this is the best looking Sonic game we've seen so far. It runs at a pretty solid 30 frames per second on the Switch, whether you have it docked or in handheld. And I'm sure the computer port runs pretty well too, but I don't have it. The story of Sonic Forces is that Dr. Eggman has enlisted the help of a new creature called Infinite, who, in my opinion, is actually a pretty cool villain, but he is a little edgy, a little Sonic OC-ish, do not steal. What makes him so cool, though, is he's the first, threatening villain we've had since Shadow the Hedgehog. I'm sorry, but the villains in Sonic games just end up not really being that threatening. Even Metal Sonic, he's kind of cool, but he's not really a threatening villain because he looks so sort of cartoony and goofy. Infinite shows up, kicks the crap out of Sonic, and then Eggman decides to put him in prison and holds him prisoner for 6 months. The prisoner thing really gets me. So Eggman gets Sonic, holds him in a cell successfully for 6 months, and over the course of that 6 months, it's implied that he's been tortured. No, it's straight out said that he's been torturing him for 6 months. But when Sonic gets out, he has absolutely no side effects of being tortured for 6 months, and for whatever reason, Eggman just decided not to kill him. Someone somewhere says that Eggman held him prisoner because he wanted Sonic to see the new Eggman Empire before he died, but when he decides to kill him, the Eggman Empire is not even completely built, so I have no idea what was going on there. So yeah, that's the most interesting thing about this game, is the fact that when it starts out, Sonic has been captured, so the Freedom Fighters, as I'm going to call them, because that's what they were called in the comics and in the show, the Freedom Fighters have to figure out a way to beat Eggman without Sonic's help, and that's actually a really cool idea. One thing that I don't really like about the Freedom Fighters, though, is there's so many people that just came in and there's no explanation for it. For whatever reason, Silver the Hedgehog is a member of the Resistance. Now, I don't have anything against Silver, okay? I kinda sorta have a soft spot for him, but it's just so weird how he's here and nobody is questioning anything. I guess by this point, Silver has been with them for a while, but I kinda thought Silver was a time traveler dude. Why is he even here right now? At the end of Sonic 06, doesn't he screw off to another dimension and leave forever? It's not that important. I know. He's here. Vector the Crocodile and Espio and Charmy are here. A bunch of really random characters are brought together, and I guess they've just been together with the Freedom Fighters for 6 months. The problem is, that would have been the interesting part. I don't know why they skipped over that. It's just all these characters are brought together, and it's just so normal for them that we're supposed to accept that it's been normal, and that's the part I would have liked to have seen. None of them have any effect on the story or gameplay or anything. I know not everybody's gonna like this idea, but I wish they had found a way to incorporate all the characters into the game a little bit better. Maybe you could have Silver come with you, and Silver has some kind of power that you only have when Silver is teamed up with you. Maybe Vector could break through things. Maybe Charmy could throw you across gaps. There's just so many different things they could have used these characters for, but they're just salad dressing, and I don't really know why they're even dressing. Also, none of that matters. Sonic ends up getting out of the prison, I'd say 15 to 20 minutes into the game. Huge wasted potential with this entire idea. So, in Sonic's absence, somehow, I'm trying to figure out a way to explain this to make it not sound absolutely stupid. A time portal opens up, and Classic Sonic comes through it, and Tails finds Classic Sonic. And Tails' explanation for what happened is, when this universe doesn't have access to Sonic, then it brings in a Sonic from another dimension because Sonic is related to the universe somehow. I don't know. I am trying my absolute hardest here to figure out how to explain this. Basically, at the end of Sonic Mania, a time portal opened up and swallowed Sonic, and this is what happened to him. He got thrown into the Sonic Forces universe. So this isn't really Sonic Generations 2, because honestly, classic Sonic doesn't have much to do with anything. There are a couple of classic Sonic stages, but he doesn't do anything for the story. And I know it's really ridiculous of me to keep coming back to the story, okay? I kind of low-key like the Sonic stories because of how ridiculous they get, but in this case, there's just no story to really get ridiculous in the first place. Eggman took over the world, Sonic got locked up for 6 months, so that forced everybody to come together, and now they're fighting against Eggman like usual. And while we're on the topic of missed opportunities, one other huge missed opportunity they had was they go back and they reuse some of the old levels, which I'm not completely opposed to, but I'll get onto that later. But if they were going to have this whole Eggman took over all of these areas thing, then it would have been nice if they had gone back and shown some of the old levels with this really heavy Eggman influence, like maybe some of the plants and stuff are roboticized, maybe the environments look completely different, maybe they're darker and bleaker, kind of like in Sonic CD when you go to the future after Eggman's taken over the future there, but that's kind of a nitpick. It's your basic Sonic fare. It's not horribly awful, but it's pretty bad considering what they had to work with. But I'm the only one in the world who cares about Sonic stories, unironically, so let's actually talk about some gameplay. As you probably know, there are essentially 4 different kinds of stages. There are classic Sonic stages, modern Sonic stages, OC character stages, and stages where you play as the OC and modern Sonic together. Modern Sonic is your standard fare. You run through the stage as quickly as possible, sometimes it goes 2D. His stages feel fine, they're probably the best part of the game. My only real complaint is there's not really a way to control Sonic's speed. This is sort of a problem in Sonic Generations 2, but here it's really difficult because there's so many just straight 90-degree turns that you have to make, and there's really no way to do it without completely stopping and then turning. Alright, listen to me, Sonic team. I'm about to make you $1 trillion with this next idea, okay? Just level with me for a second. For your next Sonic game, you have one of 2 options, okay? Put either one of these in, and it will be a 10 out of 10 perfect Sonic game, and everybody will buy it, and you guys will make so much money you'll be able to cover the national debt, I promise. The first one. Do you remember in Sonic Mania special stages, where jumping in one direction would actually push your momentum towards that direction? Like if you jumped to the left, your Sonic would move to the left and like your momentum would go that way too? Yeah, put that in next time. In this game, when you jump as Sonic, Sonic continues to go the direction that you were facing when you initiated the jump, and his momentum doesn't really shift. If you just make it so that when you're going around a corner, you can jump in the direction the corner is going and then keep your momentum, I'm telling you, it will be one of the smoothest gameplay experiences we've ever had in a Sonic game. Your second option is bring drifting back. Seriously, it was perfect. I have no idea why they never included this option again. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, in Sonic Unleashed, yeah, I know, Sonic Unleashed, but in Sonic Unleashed, you could push a button and then drift around tight corners, and then when you let go of it, you could continue running in the direction that you wanted to go. So if you had to turn to the right and it was a really sharp turn, you held R2, you pushed right, and Sonic would like slide across the corner and then continue running. It was glorious. If they bring that back, or if they make jumping shift your momentum, then the modern Sonic stages will be perfect and they can just build a complete game around those. Next up are the rookie stages, aka the OC stages. These are almost identical to Sonic stages, but the main difference is you have a weapon, so whenever enemies show up, you have to push the weapon to kill them and then continue on. The thing that makes the weapons a little awkward is you don't really do any damage. It's just if any enemy gets hit by any of your weapon attacks, then they die. So essentially it's just another button you have to push while you're going through. It's awkward. I really don't like it. I think the modern stages work a lot better than the OC stages, but there is an upside. The second thing that the OC characters have that Sonic doesn't is you can grapple onto things. Sonic games are trying to make grappling work, okay? We had these, we had the energy tethers. Sonic games want grappling hooks, and they almost had it, guys. It was so close. When you're going through a stage, sometimes a button prompt will come up, and if you push the jump button at the right time, what'll happen is you'll throw a grappling hook out, you'll swing around whatever it was you were grappling onto, and you'll jump to the other side. And honestly, it's really cool, especially when you're going around turns. You grapple onto the wall, and then as you're going around the turn, you sort of like skid along it, and there's sparks, and it looks cool. It's a really nice spectacle event, and it works pretty well for the most part. I just wish there was something a little bit smoother they could do, because essentially grappling when you're jumping is the exact same as the homing attack. It's just instead of doing the homing attack, you sort of Ferris wheel around it for a second and then jump off. Since the modern Sonic stages and the custom OC character stages are so similar, I kind of wish they had just cut modern Sonic out until like the end of the game. Maybe had like 1 or 2 modern Sonic stages and then cut it out so your OC could be the main character, and then like for the last few stages bring modern Sonic back. But all in all, it's functional. I wouldn't say it's like the worst part of the game. While we're on the topic though, there are some stages where your OC and Sonic will join forces, and this plays exactly the same as both of their stages since they play so similarly anyway. There's not really much of a difference except that you have both of their powers. So Sonic can boost, and your main character can use their weapon to kill things and grappling hook. And it all flows together pretty well. But if they were going to do this whole Sonic Heroes thing, for the record, by the way, I loved Sonic Heroes. I thought it was really fun, probably one of my favorite Sonic games. Feel free to hate me in the comments below. If they were going to do this character team-up thing, they should have used this as a chance to incorporate the other characters. If you could have modern Sonic or your OC better team up with some of the characters like Silver, Shadow, Espio, Charmy, so on and so forth, then they could have found another thing to do with it rather than just have modern Sonic and the OC team up. Like I said before, if they had just cut modern Sonic out for the most part and put him at the very beginning and the very end, and then had the middle be just taken up by your OC, I think they could have incorporated the other characters in a way that gave you more gameplay variety. Like, if you had a stage with Shadow, maybe you could use Chaos Control to, I don't know, get past moving objects like you could in some of the Shadows, not Shadows, like you could in Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Like, there were these little time stop things that you hit, and it helped you with your platforming. I think that would have worked really well here. Shadow goes Chaos Control, stops platforms, and you platform across. Or, like I said before, Vector, the crocodile or alligator or whatever he is, could break through obstacles. They could have done more with that idea than just have Sonic and the OC team up. These stages are passable, but honestly they kind of have the problems from both characters. You have to deal with Sonic's really awful boost that you can't really change the direction of, on top of having to stop every few seconds to kill some enemies, so there is that. But classic Sonic! Oh boy, classic Sonic! I hope you weren't looking forward to this one. I have no idea what Sonic Team did to classic Sonic, but he controls like crap now. Anybody who says that Sonic controls the same way he does in Sonic Generations is a liar. They're a liar and a charlatan, and you should never listen to them again. They've done this thing with Sonic where he gains momentum almost instantaneously when you push the control stick, which sounds kind of cool at first, you know, for a Sonic game, getting that instant boost to speed right at the beginning, but it's actually really awful. There's a huge emphasis on vertical levels in the classic Sonic stages, and trying to time your jumps while also trying to control your speed in the air is a nightmare. When Sonic is going upwards, he gains so much speed that you can't actually land your jumps, and when he's going down, he falls like a rock. So as soon as he hits the height of his jump, he's going to start falling so fast that you can't actually control him in the air very well. I have no idea how they messed this up so badly. Another complaint I have is when you're going down hills, in any Sonic game, anyone, list it, I can do it. I hold the control stick down, Sonic goes into a ball, keeps his momentum, goes faster, and then goes up whatever ramp or whatever's on the other side. In this game, it does not work. Not one bit. No matter how hard I push on down, Sonic won't actually curl up into a ball. It's nigh impossible. And I've done it a couple of times, okay? Sometimes I think it's like a glitch or something, because if I just mash on down over and over and over again, sometimes it'll work. But it normally takes like 7 or 8 button presses to actually get him to curl into a ball. It's a mess. I have no idea how they got released in this state. And on top of that, his levels aren't even that fun. They're really not that good at all. I don't even know why they bothered including Classic Sonic, unless it was all a marketing ploy to get people who like Sonic Generations to buy the new game, which, I guess they got me there, okay? It worked. It worked. So let's talk about the custom OCs a little bit. The custom OCs are actually really cool. They're probably the neatest thing about the game. I very much enjoy them. You can choose a different race for your character, like if you're a cat, then you can hold on to one ring when you get hit. If you're a hedgehog, you start the stage with some rings, and you also get some rings when you die. If you're a bird, you can double jump, so on and so forth. There are a bunch of different races, and there's a bunch of different abilities assigned to each. You can customize the crap out of your characters later into the game, because every single time you beat a stage, you get like 5 new accessories for your character, and you also get accessories for beating like this achievement list that they have. It's nuts how crazy you can get with your character. A lot of people are saying that deviant artists are going to model their OC into Sonic Forces, but I think it's the other way around. I think a lot of people are going to play through Sonic Forces and create characters that they go on to make on DeviantArt for years to come. It's that good. And the joke right now is just make a character that looks exactly like Sonic, but I mean, if you think that kind of thing's funny, then go for it, but just know that the custom characters, they actually went really in depth with them, and you're not going to be disappointed. In fact, the only thing I'm upset about is you can't really make Sonichu characters, okay? Chris Chan and Sonichu were one of the reasons I was so excited about this. I was ready to go in and make those Sonichu characters, but it's really difficult to do. I've already tried. I'm sure somebody out there's going to perfect it, and I can't wait to see it. One of the problems I think is hilarious is your custom characters' arms are going to be the same color as whatever their fur color is. So, in a way, the whole Sonic's arms being blue thing is going to be a problem for every single custom character, which I think is hilarious, because I'm positive that Chris Chan was looking forward to this game so he could make all of the electric hedgehog Pokemon, and it's not going to work because all of their arms are going to be the same color as their body. Oh, I hope he is not blowing a gasket right now. That's enough of a tangent about that, but geez. One of the other things they included that I thought was really interesting was they actually have hairstyles you can give your OC, which is perfect, because that's what you need for an OC in the Sonic community, is you need that crazy emo hairstyle. I didn't unlock anything too crazy, but I hope it's there, because if you don't have the emo hair, you cannot be a true Sonic OC. And I'm qualified to make fun of cringy emo hairstyles, because I have never had a cringy emo hairstyle, okay? It's never happened. Not once in my life. The last thing I want to talk about is the length of the game. The game can very easily be beaten in, I'd say, roughly 2 hours. Maybe a little longer if you keep dying or something, but the levels themselves are made to be beaten in about 1.5 to 2 minutes. That's about 25 to 27 of the levels. There are 30 levels altogether, and about 25 to 27 of them are meant to be beaten in under 2 minutes, and the other 3 are meant to be beaten in about 5 minutes, so yeah, I get what they were going for. It's sort of a speedrunner paradise where you're trying to get through the level as quickly as possible, and if you manage to do it, if you manage to get through the game without dying, you will have beaten your first playthrough in no more than about 2 hours. And it's not really because there aren't enough stages. There's 30 stages, so it was plenty for them to do, but it was just a bit too short, in my opinion. Another problem is they reuse stages a lot. When I played Sonic Generations and I played through the Chemical Plant Zone, I thought it was cool. It was such a neat idea to go back and see Chemical Plant from that other perspective and have the redone classic Sonic level. It was really cool. But in this game, they end up using it, I'd say like 3 or 4 times. Like, they use it almost as many times as they use Green Hill Zone, and trust me, that's a lot. Like, if you combine the times that you play through Chemical Plant and Green Hill Zone, it makes up almost a third of the game. I'm cool with Sonic Team being nostalgic. If they want to go back and they want to keep redoing levels, I'm not totally happy with it, but I'm okay with it. But can we please get off of this, like, chemical plant, Green Hill Zone, classic Sonic level stuff? There are plenty of other Sonic levels that they could remake if they really wanted to. Does anybody remember Final Chase from Sonic Adventure 2 Battle? We go to space. We go to a space colony in this one, so having a level like that would have been cool. I know there are some levels from Sonic Colors that could have been remade. I know there are all of these things that they could have done, but they just didn't do them. Also, personal pet peeve. Can we be done with Wisps now? Okay, can this just be the end of it, please? Wisps were okay in Sonic Colors to give Sonic different powers. Okay, it was that game's sort of unique little gimmick. And then in Sonic Generations, it was kind of annoying, but they really only put them in one level. And in this game, they focused almost completely on the Wisps. They're important for everything. If you have the right weapon for the right Wisps, you can use special abilities during the levels. They're how you get your boosts now, rather than just having the boosts be Sonic collecting rings. It's too much. They are too important to the game. Take them out. Nobody wants the Wisps anymore. They were cute in their game. If you do a Sonic Colors 2, feel free to bring them back, but they're done. They're done. You can't do anything else with them. Something they did that I thought was really cool was they made Shadow the Hedgehog playable in like 10 of the levels, and they also gave him his own side story that you can download from the shop for free. I don't know if it's going to be free forever or if it's just like free for the first month or so that Sonic Forces is out, and then they're going to charge for it, but this was kind of cool. The downloadable pack is only like 3 stages long, but it actually gives backstory as to why Infinite wants to fight Sonic in the first place. Like, the whole thing revolves around Shadow infiltrating one of Eggman's bases, and then it's implied that he kills a platoon of soldiers, and there's like one remaining soldier, and the one remaining soldier is so like weak and pathetic that Shadow doesn't even bother to kill him, and that makes him crazy, makes him go off, find this stupidly powerful gem, and then come back and try to kill Shadow. I know I'm making it sound stupid, but it's kind of cool in the game, and I really appreciate it. If they had done more with Infinite as an enemy, I think the game would have turned out better. So did I love the game? Did I hate the game? What exactly am I trying to get across? The game is okay. It's average. It's nowhere near as bad as people say it is. I wouldn't necessarily call it a good, quote-unquote, good 3D Sonic game. It's just an average Sonic game. The only thing I'd say that's really bad about the game, or that's really wrong with the game, is they squandered so much potential with this game. If they were going to bring back all the characters, they should have found a better way to incorporate them. They should have given some of the levels a bit more variety. If they were going to make this a story-based game like Sonic Adventure 2, then I highly recommend they fire whoever their current story writers are, because it just didn't work in this game. It was interesting to have an idea where Sonic is taken out of it and everybody has to figure out how to get by without Sonic, but they completely waste that. They brought in Infinite, who is a pretty interesting villain, and they completely waste him. They even brought back Chaos. Chaos shows up in like 2 cutscenes, and then he immediately disappears. You don't even get a boss battle against him. It is depressing. So it's not good. It's not bad. It's just forgettable. And in a way, that's almost a little worse. It's a shame, too, because, like I said before, even though I loved Sonic Mania, thought Sonic Mania was an amazing game, played through it forever, but I loved Sonic Generations to death, and I wish it would have been the spark to sort of reinvigorate 3D Sonic games, because I personally think that there have been some amazing 3D Sonic games that people don't give enough credit. And unfortunately, Sonic Team is just not making my case any stronger with this one. If you're a diehard Sonic fan that enjoys 3D Sonic games like I do, if you can forgive how bad the story is, if you're curious about the original characters, and most importantly, if you've already played through Mario Odyssey, I give this game its full worth it price of $40. It was very smart of Sega not to release this as a full $60 game, because it is not a $60 game by any means, but like I said before, if you're really into the Sonic franchise, if you've already played Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, and all the other big releases on your Switch, then I highly recommend picking it up for $40. If you kinda like 3D Sonic games, and you really like Sonic Mania, and you're not really that interested in the OC stuff, and you just want to play through some classic Sonic goodness, I give this game a worth it price of $25. I'm sure you'll find it used somewhere for like 25 bucks, and I think it's worth at least trying out. There's enough good Sonic stuff in here to keep you going, even if you don't really care about the other stuff. And finally, if you don't like 3D Sonic and you're looking for a way to get back into it, then I give this game a worth it price of about $10. The game's just hardly worth it if you're not already a fan of this type of game. Like, if you're trying to give 3D Sonic another chance, like maybe you didn't really like Generations, maybe you didn't really like Colors, and you're just looking for a chance to give 3D Sonic another chance, this is not the chance you should give it, because it's going to make your thoughts even worse. $10 is about what you should expect to spend if you don't want to get completely ripped off. And that's about it. I rambled a lot. This video is almost half an hour long, and that's after all the stuff that I cut, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. If you enjoyed the video, please leave it a like. Those things really do help us out. Leave me your thoughts on Sonic Forces in the comment section below, along with any suggestions on what I should talk about next. And, to make it more interesting, leave me the name of a Sonic game in your comment so that I know you watched the entire video. And finally, if you found this video by accident, then subscribe to stay up to date on the latest Kudou news. Sorry again that this video was so long. I'll try to make them a bit shorter in the future, but you know me, I just love to ramble. Catch you next time.